7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
The Savachi syndrome, I'm telling you, I'm like, well, holy shit, that was crazy. Wait for it. Thick and slick. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another Fantasy Supercross podcast. I am Travis with the Moto Aftermath Show. We are talking about our finishes from the Houston 2 Supercross race. We're going to talk picks for the Houston 3 race coming up this weekend. Before we jump into all of that, I am flying solo on this show. Justin and Cole, who are usually on here with me, Cole, and they're both busy. Justin's working, Cole's on a road trip. So they are occupado, cannot jump on here, so this will be a relatively quick show. I'm just going to basically run through what I scored at Houston 2 and then continue on to what I'm looking at picks-wise here on this Thursday for the Houston 3 race coming up on Saturday. Before we get started on all that, make sure to follow us on all the major social media networks. Cole is always putting up interesting stuff on the Instagram. He's Twitter tweeting as much as he can with his job that he has. And then make sure to like, subscribe, and comment here on the YouTube channel. We are putting out content for all the different races. If you haven't checked it out already, please do. We've got Kevin Moranz on the main show every single race because Kevin's doing all 17 rounds. He's competing in the 250, what are we on, 250 West Coast right now? No, 250 East Coast Supercross, and the West Coast rounds he's riding the 450. So we have him on there for some insight. Also, if you guys want to play Fantasy Supercross with us, we play on pulpmxfantasy.com. Go there, log in, create a username. Once you do that, make sure to join our league. You're going to want to go to the Leagues tab and type in Moto Aftermath Show, and you will find us. Once you join the league, if you do want to be entered for those season-ending prizes, because we are giving away prizes for at least the top 3, depends if we get some more stuff. We will be giving away for first place in the league. You'll get a full answer race kit, which will be helmet, gloves, jersey, pants. Second place is winning a GoPro Hero 8, and third place is winning a swag pack with t-shirts and stuff from all of our sponsors. So make sure to go enter for that. Plus, we give away the weekly prizes, which we do usually every 2 to 3 races. We're going to do them. I don't think we have anything set up here for Houston 3 to give away, but for Indy, I will make sure I have stuff to give away for all 3 rounds. So, like I said, make sure to go there and then go over to Instagram, DM us your username so that way we have your contact information so we can contact you if you do win a prize and get your prize out to you. So as far as fantasy goes for Houston 2, I had a pretty decent night. I scored 247 points, which actually put me at 294th overall, which is a really, really solid night, especially for me. I usually am not quite up that high. I actually was better about halfway through the 450 main. I was actually, I think, about 277, and I was about 139th overall. It was an amazing run. It was absolutely amazing. I thought for sure I was gonna nail down some really stellar points. Now I nailed down solid points, so we won't complain too much. But getting into my rider picks for Houston 2, in the 250 class, I had Christian Craig score me 23 points. Now we found out later he had clutch problems, so I don't feel too bad at 23. I mean, that's still a solid all-star pick. Jeremy Hand was my all-star of the night here, though, because he scored me 52 points. A super great night for Jeremy Hand as far as fantasy goes. Dylan Woodcock, he had an okay night. He scored me 32 points. I did find out later he took out our boy Kevin Moranz, which was kind of a disappointment. But stuff happens, and like I said, it scored me some decent points. And then my final pick for the 250 class, I had Curran Thurin, and he was okay. He scored me 26 points, but I was sweating hard during that 250 main event, that 250 LCQ, sweating hard. And then once he got into the main, I knew we were okay because he had enough of a handicap that we were probably going to score double points no matter what. But I still got pretty nervous there. Now, when we get into 450 riders, this is where it gets a little shaky for me. So my all-star, I have Malcolm Stewart. He scored me 26 points. I figured that was a pretty easy, solid pick because he was like a 6 handicap. So him getting a 7th place or better, I figured was probably pretty doable. So that was good. I picked Vince Freeze. He was, I believe, like a 7 handicap. And Vince just had a rough night all around, from the heat race going down both times and the stuck throttle and the whole 9 yards. So 30 points getting out of there with that. I was happy because there was a point I wasn't sure we were going to make the main, which really bummed me out. I had Eli Tomac. Now, this is one of the few times we've ever seen Eli as a non-all-star. He was a -1 handicap, and I thought he would do pretty well. I figured he would bounce back. We would be well inside the top 10, even if he had another somewhat off night. And he paid off, obviously. He won. We had the -1, so we got 46 points out of him. So he basically maxed out as much as he possibly could with that handicap, so that was great. And then we had my disappointment of the night, Zach Osborne. Zach was also a -1 handicap. Again, a rare time that Zach was going to be a non-all-star, and we were looking really, really good. I mean, you had Tomac in first, Osborne in second, and I was going, oh my God, this is going to be a great night. We're going to get 40-some points from both of them. And then the wheels came off the bus for Zach. We went backwards until we got into 10th place, which with our -1 gave us 12 points. So really, Zacho was my letdown for the race. Overall, though, I'm pretty happy. My goal this year is to hit somewhere between 230 and 260 as far as points go every round. 247 right in there. The first round I was 230, and so it actually has set me up nice for the leagues I'm in. So for our Moto Aftermath Show league, I'm pretty pumped because I'm actually in 3rd place right now, and I'm only 7 points out of first, so that's pretty good. Now, what really pumps me up is I'm in the Industry Idiots League here. I paid my money to get in there and sent Dan all the information I needed to, so Dan, don't start yelling at me. But anyway, I'm in there, and I'm actually tied for 23rd position right now, which is absolutely amazing because I believe I was like 100 and, I don't know, well into the hundreds, if not the 200s, after the first round. So you go 2 solid rounds like that. That puts me in the top 23 out of 600 people. I'm okay with that. So let's go to my Teams tab here, and let's start looking at people here for Houston 3 for picks. So 250 class here. Let's scroll. So I have Thomas Doe available to me. He is a 6 handicap, and Thomas has been doing very, very well riding, so I'll definitely be keeping an eye on him. In fact, you know what? He's been doing pretty good, so I'm going to put him on my team for the current time being. It's always a good idea to put your team in on Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, whenever the handicaps come out for the next race. It's always a good idea to put your team in, just so you have a team in case something happens on Saturday. All-star wise, here I've got next up on my list here is Faulkner. He's got a 2 handicap. I think that's pretty good, but man, he's turning into more of a wild card the farther we go. RJ Hampshire is a 4 handicap. I'm out on RJ. I cannot in a good conscience do it. Grant Harlan here at a 7 handicap. That's pretty interesting to me. Logan Carno. I had him in the first round. I'm going to go with him again. He's still a 9 handicap. So I feel like that is pretty good. Jet Lawrence I have available. He is a 1 handicap. I'm going to go with him for my all-star, I think, right now. And you know what? I'm going to round out my 250 team here. So for those of you who watched the race, you know Moran's had a pretty eventful evening. So if you actually go listen to our Houston 2 wrap-up show that just went live today, Thursday the 21st, Moran's is on there talking about how his night went, and his speed and his feeling. Yeah, he is we feel, has the speed to be a top 10 guy. He's an 8 handicap. He didn't make the main the other night, but like I said, it was a very eventful evening for him. So I'm actually going to put him on my team to round out my team right now, just because I think he is going to do well this weekend here. Anybody else? John Short at a 3 is interesting to me, but man, that's a close one. Joe Schmoda for an all-star at a 3. I think that might be a pretty solid pick if you wanted a really solid safe pick. I picked Jet as of right now. We'll see what he looks like on Saturday. But Jet at a 1, it's a little... Jet hasn't proven to us, as much as I'm a Jet homer, he has not proven to us that he can consistently do it. I know he won the other day, but we'll see. Actually, there's a good one. Luke Neese at a 10. You know what? I am taking... I'm going to take Thomas Doe off right now. I'm putting Luke Neese on, and I'm breaking my keyboard. Because a 10, I feel like that could be a pretty solid pick there for some double points. Hunter Sales will be good. I had him the other night. He'll be good. He's a 7 handicap. I think there's still some value there. Let's see. Anybody else here? Josh Farizzi at 8. That might be okay, but man, that's pushing the boundaries there. I don't think there's a lot there. And Max Volan at a 0. See, I don't think there's a lot of value there with Max, strictly because I think his top of the mark is somewhere around say 6 to 9 guy. I don't think he's any better than that. And the sixth place would be some bad nights for some other people who are all-stars. So I think I'm going to go with that for my 250 team right now. So I've got Logan Carno, Jet Lawrence is my all-star, Morans, and then Luke Neese. Now going into 450s here. Let's see what we got. Jason Anderson at a 0. That doesn't do a whole lot for me. Justin Barsha at a 3. That actually is somewhat interesting to me there. Barsha finished 9th the other night, but for those of you who don't know, he snapped his shifter off, so he was stuck in first for like the last 10 laps of the race. Not that he would have necessarily moved a lot farther forward, but still. Oh, actually, you know what? Found my all-star. Justin Brayton at a 5 handicap. I am picking that, and I am breaking my keyboard because that, I feel, is a pretty... He gets great starts. He can run up front, as we saw. He podiumed the other day. So, yep, I'm on that Brayton train. Kyle Chisholm at a 9th. He had a 14th place finish the other night. You know, I am going to actually go with Chiz because we will see who shows up to race on Saturday. But you knock off a few people like you had the other night, he might be okay. We'll see. Oh, hold on a second. Guys, I found the pick of the week, the premier pick of the week here. Adam Cianciarillo at a -1. He is not an all-star. I just picked him, and I just broke my iPad over my lap here, and I'm done. That is it. That is fantastic. Dylan Ferrandis for an all-star with a 4 handicap. That definitely is tasty there. There's some value there because I think he's going to be a top 5 guy here going forward unless something crazy happens. Let's keep scrolling here. Marv at a 4 handicap. That's okay. Oh man, I can't pick Zach, and he's a 0. That would be great. Aaron Plessinger at a 3. I'm kind of out on that because I feel like that's very start dependent as to where he finishes. A-Ray at an 11. That might be okay. I feel like A-Ray is going to make most of the mains here since there's injuries starting to happen. K-Rock at a 2. That's okay, but nothing great. Savachi, I don't know what his deal is. I feel like he exploded his knee. And, Chase Sexton at a 2. Let's go there. Okay, all right. Well, I just filled my team. Let's see if there's anything else. Stewart is a 6 still. I like that pick still. I feel like that's really solid for an all-star. Cheese Pizza Brock Tickle, he is a 6 handicap. That might be okay. I don't know. We'd have to see how he looks. Cooper Webb at a 4 handicap. I'm out on Coop right now. He's an all-star 4 handicap. That would be tasty most of the time, but I'm out right now. Dean Wilson at a 2. I'm out on that. So yeah, I don't really have a lot going on here. I mean, you could take some swings for the fences. You have Hartraft at a 10, but he's been having a rough go in this 450 class. I mean, he's been making the mains and putting in his laps, but his finishes have not been great. 7 deuce at a 14. But here's my thing. Does he make the main? That's the big question. If you wanted to really go in and throw a wild card at the wall, the 7 deuce would be your guy there with that 14, because he could probably put it in the main, but it's close at best. So Benny Bloss at a 10. I heard he was hurt, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've got for 450s there. So my 450 team, Justin Brayton is my all-star with a 5. I got Kyle Chisholm, because let's face it, Chiz is going to chiz with a 9 handicap. I got AC with a -1, and I've got Sexton with a 2. Now, I'll have to keep an eye out because I don't know exactly what's wrong with Sexton. I did see something that it was just a deep bruise on his shoulder or something, and nothing's broken. But who knows? We'll see how race day, how he looks. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. First to the finish line, I'm out on those. The only time I would pick those is either A for outdoors or B when we had Triple Crowns, and we don't have any of those this year, so I'm out on that. So that basically is it. Again, I'm sorry for the short show. I'm flying solo here. It was what I could do. So thanks for tuning in. Again, make sure to go to pulpamexfantasy.com, join our league, Moto Aftermath Show. Get in there, DM us your username so that way you can win some prizes at the end of the year if you score some good points. And yeah, we will be back next week, I guess Thursday, Friday here for another show. Hopefully I'll have some co-hosts then to talk some more fantasy and get ready for these Indianapolis rounds. Thanks to our sponsors, TLR Coatings and Premier Custom Trailers. Again, make sure to go check them out, and we will see everybody next week.